today I'm with another new community member, and he's, I think, very much involved. And I think I don't expect that any other Sikh community member in Central Valley would not know about him because he has been so much involved, especially I think within last 2 3 years that you cannot I think being living in Central Valley without knowing him or at least seen him at some parade or at some kind of Sikh community event. So so we have today Paji. Thank you for being a guest.
Thank you, Bhaji, Harpreet Bhaji. Welcome to
Um,
Manteca.
thank you, Paji. Paji's name is Parminder Sahi. If you don't know, he have been, I think, part of many projects. So before we go into that detail, so I like to cover about his background, and I think if you can provide a little bit information about your background, like where you went, you can little bit also touch in India, from where you are and how you came to US and how you went to Manteca.
Um, Thank you, Bhaji, for coming to Manteca, giving me a chance to express myself in front of the camera.
It's our
I
pleasure.
came to United States back in 1996.
Mhm.
I'm from Chandigarh, northern part of India.
Mhm.
Most of my schooling and college is in Chandigarh.
Mhm.
My father was in army. He has an excellent career in army. So
Mhm.
we were moving every 3 years. We were moving from one station to the other.
Mhm.
So, and part of his tenure in U.S. in Indian Army, we were settled in Chandigarh.
Okay.
So I went to school and college in Chandigarh. Came back to U.S. in 1996.
Mhm.
My in-laws are in Fresno, and
Good.
here's
So you
the
covered like the whole Central Valley,
pretty much.
almost
Yeah,
south and north.
exactly. I never thought about I will be going
Okay.
towards that side. I was in San Jose.
Mhm.
I started my job
Mhm.
in IBM back in
Oh,
1997
good.
after I got married. So that's how this journey started.
Oh, good. So I was not thinking about it, but it would be good to ask you the question. As you mentioned, you started in IBM in 1996, and at that time, I think because I came in 2008, still I think in 2008 time there was still issues about getting the jobs when you wear turban. Some people have the issues, some don't. So how was your experience in 1996 while like applying for jobs, and you have the probably some people feel issue with your faith.
Well, I should say that I'm very fortunate. Never felt that way from day one.
Mhm.
I got interviewed and got selected within days.
Mhm.
And that was, don't forget, that was a good old time.
Yeah, sure.
That time, internet was just booming.
Just
The whole
booming.
new technology was coming
Mhm.
aboard.
Mhm.
So there was a lack of workforce at that time when I started back in IBM
Okay.
in those days. So finding a job in 1997,
Mhm.
98 days,
Mhm.
it wasn't a big deal. It is if you know the
Mhm.
English language and
Mhm.
you well versed in English language, you sky's the limit pretty much.
Sure. And also I think it was your area. You were in Bay Area at that time. It was somewhat different. Some people think that compared to if you are thinking about some rural areas in old times, but still I think it's good to know that you have been connected professionally. I think when you just came in US, and I think you can provide a lot of insights to young professionals. So moving forward, the next thing. So you entered US and you got the job, and then when you came to Manteca.
But it's a long story. When I got married, we were living
Okay.
in Milpitas.
Mhm.
After Milpitas, we moved to Union City in 2000.
Mhm.
From 2000 to end of 2008, we stayed in Union City. I was still
Mhm.
working in IBM.
Mhm.
But during that transition, IBM, the whole storage division where I was working, that was
Mhm.
sold to Hitachi.
Oh, okay.
So at that time, there was a transition between IBM to Hitachi.
Mhm.
And then eventually it became Western Digital. But coming back to your initial
Mhm.
question, when did I move to Manteca? I moved to Manteca at end of 2008, beginning of 2009.
Okay. Okay. So when you so what was your like main purpose to come in Manteca? Did you had some family, or it's just like a normal move every Bay Area resident does?
Um, well, I was living in Milpitas, then
Okay.
Union City, and my elder brother used to live in
Mhm.
Manteca back
Mhm.
then. and it was very hard for my parents. I was living with my parents in Union City. It was very hard for me to see my parents. My dad was working at that time in security, and on his days off, he would have to come in here, help, and see my brother's family on weekends. I didn't like the way he would tell me that, oh, he wasn't feeling comfortable going through the ultimate pass. He was tired. So me and my wife talked about this, and during that time, my wife, she was working for the Ag News Developmental Center. That was also closed. It was a state facility which got closed. So it was another step closer to home. Hey, you know what? Fresno is 3 hours from Union City. It's going to be another hour and a half only if we move to Manteca. My brother lives in Manteca. Then mom and dad doesn't have to travel every weekend over to Manteca. So it was a calculated move. And that time also IBM, Western Digital, Hitachi were already going. We were seeing some downfalls in the economy, and economy was going south at that time. And we were seeing huge layoffs coming.
Yeah, sure.
So
2008, 9.
Yeah, so when my wife got laid off from the hospital she was working in, and I say, you know what, my place is also the same, and she would say, oh, you've been saying this for years and years, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. So we decided, okay, you know what I will do, we will just move to Manteca, and we'll see where life takes us from there.
Oh, good. I think it's the usual decision every middle class family takes. So when you move to Manteca, so can you provide like your experiences with the people, because you were new in the community, and like can you provide some like picture to the people of like 2008 Manteca? It's not a long time, but it's still 2008.
When I moved to Manteca, Manteca was still very kind of, you could seldom see the Sikh people going on the street, going on a bike, speaking of the community. But as a community, this community was very welcoming. I didn't feel any difference than Union City, other than that my kids could go and play outside in the park. The weather was great, and whichever way you wanted to go, half hour, there's a lake. So we did a lot of outside activity, outdoor activities. Kids were involved with the sports, with the Boys and Girls Club, Parks and Rec Department, the other sports league. So it was a totally different environment for the family. I was living in a townhouse back in Union City. So that was kind of very limited access, and I was working 1.5 job, 2 job. So kind of from that, coming back to work only 3 days, 4 days a week, living in Manteca and still able to support my family. That was a big life change for me.
Great, and I think we just found a treasure in Manteca.
It was really a treasure for me. I got where I'm living, this place we got from an auction. So that was really a steal deal for me.
At that time.
So at that time,
it was
I can't think of that time now. That gone is gone now. Yeah, but a lot of things have changed, progressed. This town has become a gigantic town now. It's no longer a small Manteca bedroom community. This is a huge town now, almost close to, I will say, 90,000+ people in this town. I will see the next census, but I'm pretty much sure it's over 90,000 people in this town now. Yes, and we got busy freeways. Just name any big facilities here. You got a best freeways, best Bass Pro Stories in our town here. So people coming from all over the places just to visit Manteca. We have a sports league in town, Manteca League's Dream. So it's one of a kind town where you got pretty much everything. For myself, I was very happy. My kids were happy being moved to this town. They got to go see more outdoor activities, and my wife was close to home. So it was a win-win situation for pretty much everybody in my family.
Good. So I like to more talk about, I think, the projects which you are presently part of, or you have founded those, I think, entities, we can say, or the volunteer groups. So especially I like to talk about Sikh for Humanity. And can you just share us a few things, like how you started it, and like what was the purpose, and what kind of activities you do under that organization?
I'm proud to be part of Sikhs for Humanity. I'm very impressed by one of our, I should say he's a pioneer, and Red Cross followed his principle. His name is Bhai Kanhaiya Singh Ji. If you look into the past Sikh history, you will find out that Kanhaiya Singh Ji, Bhai Kanhaiya Ji, not to mention Sikh at that time. He wasn't a Singh at that time. He was Bhai Kanhaiya Ji at that time. I think he was born in 1648ish, 1648 somewhere there. He became a disciple of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, he was so much inspired by Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji inspired him to be a selfless in the name of community, to go ahead and serve the community. So from that part, Bhai Kanhaiya Ji was serving the whole humanity, not just the Sikhs or not just the followers or preachers of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. And at the time of 1704, I want to say, during the Anandpur battle, some Gurujis, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Singh, complained to Guruji, "Hey Guruji, we saw one Singh. He is a Singh. He feel like a Singh, seems like a Singh. He is helping. He is giving aid to the people who are wounded, and they are from the other side of the battlefield. They are Muslims." So they complained to Guruji, and Guruji, obviously, he wanna hear them. He said, "Okay, bring him over to my place." So when Bhai Kanhaiya Ji came over to Guru Gobind Singh Ji's place, he mentioned that he don't see no difference in Guruji and Guruji Singhs and the other side of the or the enemy side. He doesn't see any difference. He seen all of them as a human being. That was a very compelling story for me, and I took his teachings and so close to my heart. I still believe in that. And based on that, some of my good friends from Manteca, Bay Area, Modesto, Tracy, they all got together 2.5 years ago when we have fires in Northern California here close to Bay Area. So they formed this organization called Sikhs for Humanity. 16 Gurdwaras from this region, from Central Valley to Bay Area, they all got together.
That was in 2017, I think.
2016, 17, 16, 17, I don't remember exactly. The fire was a major impact. So lots of help was poured in, but it was a collective effort. So we didn't waste the help. We didn't waste the money. We saved a lot of money from our Sangat or our Gurdwaras throughout this California, especially the northern region, the Central Valley, the Bay Area. They wanted to do some help. So we coordinated directly with the Red Cross. We coordinated directly with the what you call Goodwill and Salvation Army is the pioneer one who handles those camps. So we directly work with them. Whatever they tell us every morning, end of the day or during the day, we will just get together and in the name of Seva, in the name of Guruji's Seva, you cannot imagine the help was unimaginable. You can't even imagine what kind of help they would ask, and there were people lined up to do that Seva at that time. So that was a very moving for me. I'm also involved in local projects as a local community. That was for the humanity. So whatever
regardless of, I think, your region, your city, your town.
Yes. So and speaking of that, last year we helped in Reno when we had a fire in I forgot the name, in past close to Chico, Paradise Redding, to be more specific. So during Paradise time again, we got together again and we helped the community again. We do some blanket drives. We do food for the needy. We do little bit things here and there, which may be little, but if everybody start doing little, it makes a big impact in the society. So that's what whole idea is. We cannot do it alone, and we're not doing it alone. It is just group of people. When it goes out, more people come and join us, and it becomes a wave where people are helping each other, basically.
Good. I think it's a fabulous project, because I think in general, any Sikh community member, I think our behavior is that we are giving and we like to help, but sometimes you don't, I think, find a way to channelize your, I think, good deeds which you want to do. And I think groups like you just provide a way to people to help out in any kind of disaster, because you have this coordinated effort going on. And with that, if a person want to donate, at least he would be able to know it would be going at some for good cause, not, I think, for some administrative expenses.
So far, Harpreet, it is worth mentioning here, we're not taking any money from anybody.
Okay.
with over 2 years of our existence, we haven't touched any single money. So whatever money came, it directly goes to the source.
Okay.
So if anybody needs a blanket, we have a donor. We just pair them up, line them up. The whole seva goes to the needy people. We haven't touched any money. We have no bank account. Good. We are trying to be a 501c at some point of time because there's a lot of help is needed. Yes. So now we want to move on to the next phase of any charity organization. Now we know that we have help available. We have the manpower to do help. Now we wanted to extend it to the next level. So to go to the next level, we are forming teams in different parts of country, even worldwide, whatever we can do.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And I think your next project I'd like to talk about is City of Manteca. And that's like an informal group, and I think under that we have, I think, seen with recent events. So can you just talk a little bit about that?
So the City of Manteca, as you can say, that this is a seedling we are trying to put in our community, that you need to get together. And there we give them this sense that here you come for the Sikh community, you tell other people what we do. But there also we sow this seed in those meetings, in those projects, that the role we can take on is bigger. It's not that we wanted to tell everybody that we are Sikhs. There is a time when you need to step up and do anything and everything for the community as a whole in the name of humanity. So you can say the City of Manteca organization is to organize the local Sikhs, where we bring them together, do some things together, and get the feedback from our community, what other projects they would like to take on.
Okay, that's great.
So that's the whole idea of starting City of Manteca.
That's great.
And we also participate to mark our presence in local city events. We do participate in the Christmas parades, July 4th parade, Chamber of Commerce, the Kiwanis Club. We have another a social organization, Chuck Palmer's. One of our soldiers was killed in the battlefield in the United States. So there's a big organization under his name. His parents started that organization, Charles Palmer II Memorial Troop Support Program. As a City of Manteca, as an individual, we also go. We take our families there. We help them, just to mark our presence that, hey, you know what? Your values matches with our values. You was also, his son died in the name of country. That's a selfless service.
Sure.
So we have a respect for him. We have a respect for family. Other thing we do in Manteca is the Flags Over Manteca event.
Yeah,
I'm also in their committee, and we do.
Whenever I think someone just comes to Manteca first time,
yes,
they just see that, I think, energy and people having those flags. I think because other cities, at least I have not seen, especially in Central Valley, no other cities does that.
Actually, that was the only. This town is very patriotic town. I'm proud to say that. On top of that, this town is also known as a family city and a city of trees. Having said that, 10 times a year would put 2,400 flags on the streets of Manteca.
Wow.
All those 2,400 flags are put by the volunteers. And it is worth mentioning here, the kids are so excited. Anybody from the community can come in and put those and help with putting those flags onto the streets of Manteca. So it's been an honor for us. We are doing that for over 5 years now.
Wow.
So we started 5 years ago, and it's still going, and hopefully we can carry on this forever.
So I think you start early in the morning, because I used to look your pictures. So you start early in the morning, and then I think again those same volunteers comes in, because you also want to take care of flags.
Yes.
So I think any participation, if someone like to participate, I think you should contact Paji, and so he can let you know about the schedules. And those are, I think, you do those like on which days?
Those are national importance days, like July 4th, Flag Day, President Day, anything of that sort of those national importance days. We do the flags over Manteca. We get up around. I get up around 3 o'clock, because we not only participate, we want to encourage the volunteers. So we have over 60 to 70, sometimes 50 volunteers for that project in the morning hours. So we get up early in the morning, we get the free refreshment for them, we get coffee for them, we get some fresh fruit for them and water for them. It is really, to me, encouraging more volunteers will be a great help to our society, to our town itself. Okay, that gives us a sense of togetherness, which can take us a long way.
Sure.
So that's the whole idea of putting those flags together in the morning. It shows us a patriotism in our town. A lot of people, even now, people come from Tracy, Modesto, Stockton, they come and help us doing the flags.
Yeah, because they see that your, I think, town is doing such a great job, which I think, so your, I think, energy attracts other people from other towns. They also like to do that, and because their town is not doing that and you are doing it, and it just spreads that energy around.
Well, to me, it seems like a seva is very contagious. Seva is very contagious. Sure. So when I'm inspired by the others doing seva, and I try to listen them and do at least on my part, tiny bit, if I can do something for the seva. And if somebody is inspired by me, that is my privilege.
Good.
Yeah.
So next, I'd like to move on your personal, social, I think, engagements you are in. So congratulations, you are presently serving as a planning commissioner in Manteca. Can you a little bit provide details about, or your experiences, how you went from like a middle class person just working somewhere in Bay Area and then like serving also your community through planning commission?
Harpreet Paji, it's a long story. I mean, I never thought about that I will be serving on these commissions. I never had any ambitions to do it. It just comes in my way, and there was appreciation on the city part that I appreciate that they gave me a chance to serve on a very prestigious commission. I was a 2-term Parks and Rec commissioner here in town, and after that I got a chance to represent as a part of the Manteca Planning Commission, and currently I'm a vice chair of the Planning Commission of Manteca. It is a great opportunity for me to learn and give back to the community. It is also at the same time, it is a responsibility and one of the civic duty which I would encourage other people should do. Speaking of our community, our Sikh community, I can tell you this, that we do a lot, but we never made it a concerted effort where it is looked as that we are doing for the other community as well. So we are doing at our temples, we are doing for our community events, we are doing for the Nagar Kirtans, we are doing at the social Punjabi melas, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੇਲੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਇੱਥੇ, ਹਨਾ. At the same time, we also need to step up, and I wanted to take this opportunity to encourage our kids, come up and be a part of this society, be a part of the Park and Rec department. In our town, we have the Youth Advisory Committee. We have now a Millennial Advisory Committee. We have a Senior Advisory Committee. I can understand we have some language barrier. I can understand why our seniors are not coming forward to be part of that. We have a SHARP program, seniors helping others. We have also part of the Manteca Fire Department. Those seniors is called SAFE, Seniors Assisting Fire Efforts. Those are the organizations which seniors can participate and help community, give back to the community. And I know there is some language barrier. Some of our seniors, they can talk well when they talk between the community in English, or when they are talking over the walkie-talkie set. It seems like sometimes it's too much for them, and I can understand that part. But there are other social organizations where our seniors can step up. For example, they can go to the senior center, they can help serve a coffee or serve anything to the people who comes in senior center. Every Tuesday, there's a food is distributed to the Manteca resident seniors of Manteca. They can help that kind of efforts. I'm also part of the community emergency response team for last over 2 years in Manteca. We also train people. This Thursday we're having another class starting to educate and get people certified for the cert. It is called Community Emergency Response Team. It is a federal program. Most of the towns have a CERT team in place in case of natural calamity, any disaster. the city rely on us to come forward and do it.
Try to help
and CERT in Manteca is part of the fire department. In some cities, in big metropolitan cities like LA, CERT is a part of the Manteca. The police departments.
Okay.
So in CERT, we also serve the downtown fair, the pumpkin fair, any other major event in Manteca, the Christmas parade, the July 4th parade. CERT steps up and do the traffic arrangements. They guide the traffic. They do help the fire at some point as well, but mostly we are doing the traffic responsibilities at the major events in city, and we are equipped and we are prepared. We are trained to do in case there is a natural calamity or a major disaster hit in the area. We also train for the search and rescue efforts throughout the California. So we are certified for that. Not particularly me. I don't have much time to go ahead and get certified for the search and rescue, but there are team members in my team who are members of the search and rescue team. They're also certified with the ham radio. So if the whole communication breaks down, CERT is equipped with the ham radio in Manteca. So we can work with the city and we can still do the activities which we will do in the normal days.
Oh, okay. I think, and it's also one of the good ways to get connected with the city and know different people. And it seems to be like kind of an explorer program, like police departments have explorer program or sheriff. So I think you can help the community, and also you can, I think, put your efforts and worth in also helping out the area in some kind of national disaster, or either it's some kind of event going on, some emergency happen in that. So I think these kind of programs you have to, I think every city almost have these kind of programs. So you should, I think, look for or just talk with your council members or any other person who is, I think, active in your communities. So the last question I like to ask you, in recently, I think we have seen very unfortunate events happen, especially in our region, Central Valley. Either it's in Manteca or it's in Tracy, where the Sikh community members and especially elder members have been abused and also called names, and also violence happened against them because of their faith and how they look. So you have also, I think, held an event which was a very big event, and under the banner of Sikhs for Manteca and also Sikhs for Humanity. So can you provide a little bit detail, like after that event, how the community came together and what are your like future plan to have those kind of events?
Nearly 2 years ago, we had this incident. I shouldn't say it was an incident because of the color or because of the appearance. This case is already decided. It is already closed. The guilty verdict has been given. The guy has served his sentence. It was an isolated incident. I'm talking about the Manteca incident. RPG. Don't take me wrong. Okay, there is always a possibility it could be driven by some other factors. But I was very closely involved with that particular incident. Right from that, when incident happened, within hours, I was involved. I was contacted by the family. We did all the homework. Unfortunately, it took us few hours to get the police report done. They were doing dilly-dillying, and but after we got our councilman Gary Singh involved in this, the police chief involved in this, when they realized the gravity of the situation, everybody was on top of this. It was a widespread. The video of that particular incident went viral within minutes, over 10,000 clicks on YouTube. Wow. You can imagine on social media. So it was a very unfortunate incident in our community. At the same time, that was the best example in our town that the whole town came together. And it wasn't Sikhs of Manteca, it wasn't Sikhs of Humanity, and the whole community came together, and a peace walk was done under the banner of Manteca Peace Walk. So throughout California, we got people, enormous help, enormous phone calls. You can't imagine, within 24 hours, that video went so much viral. People were giving us the leads that these are the guys who may have done this. So police have no clue who are these folks who have done that particular crime, but within 24 hours, people gave us the pictures, the addresses, the names of those people, and some of them were not even willing to go to the cops directly. They even provided this Manteca Peace Walk community and some other community members their names and their where they're living. Based on that, police were able to track those folks within days. Luckily, it was all closed on. It was a very, I should say, peaceful ending with that. The older gentleman is doing well now. He was beaten up badly. He was robbed. It seems like initially that it is a hate crime, but when we sat with the cops, when we sat with the DA, the family went over this thing with the DA office, and they made few visits to the courtroom. And the close associates of the guy who did this crime, they came to the court and tell why this was motivated. This was motivated because of this is the reason. They gave some financial reason. They gave some other reasons. There was some drugs involved, some other bad things involved. But at no point, I as an individual, I as a citizen, I did not feel that was a racially motivated. Some people try to prove that it was a racially motivated, but I can tell you with my experience, as closely, I don't think anybody was as close associated to the family than at that point. I was so much involved with the family. I went to the court a few times with the family. I pretty much was well informed for every decision and every step that was taken during that time. I personally do not feel that was a racially motivated. I do not know about the other towns. I know Tracy had an incident last year. That incident is still under investigation, so I'm not in a position to say anything. I do not know which way that investigation will go, but the Manteca incident wasn't a racially motivated. It was just an isolated incident and very unfortunate incident which should not have happened. And I'm proud to say that the whole community was stood by Mr. Singh when that incident happened.
Good.
Even our congressman, our assembly member, it was a outpouring support, which is unbelievable.
That's great. I think, but the main point was that that the community, whenever some person was in distress from community, or I think regardless of even that, even in future, I think we don't think that something should happen, but even in future, it's about some other community. I think it's all about bringing community together and bring and energize and channel that, I think, energy in some way or form, so that there is some beneficial effect on the community. And I think so we are fortunate enough it was not in regards to any, I think, any racial crime, but I think the community came together, and I can imagine it was like 500-600 people.
Yes.
And it was, I think, shown all over in media, at least in Central Valley, and even I think down
even Washington,
in our home country.
Washington Post, it was
India.
mentioned. Even Washington Post mentioned it.
So you can understand, I think, the gravity of that event, and it was only possible because community came together.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's these kind of, I think, events, it's just people move on and no one thinks about it. Fortunate, it's not a racial crime, but still, I think in future, the people know that the people who would be doing bad deeds, that this community will come together, and I think they will be there and provide the help which the law enforcement always needed, so that these people can be held under justice.
True. It is very important, Harpreet ji, as we talked earlier, our community do a lot. Sometimes you need to make that effort be known by others and inspire others. It doesn't matter how much you do if you cannot inspire even your kids, if you cannot inspire your own congregation members when you go to the Gurdwara, then that means we are lacking somewhere.
Yes.
So we do a lot for the community, but we need to step up and do for the larger community. So my humble request to Harpreet ji, to your viewers is, please step up, mark your presence, go to the events done by other communities as well. contribute towards the other communities events as well. Be a part of the community. Don't just be a part of the Sikh community. Don't feel shy. And I can tell you another thing, a good story. This year we had a first Sikh parade in City of Manteca. A lot of local people who have no idea what Sikh religion is, what Sikh faith is, they came and asked those questions to us. It feels good when people wanted to know about you, and and when you hear good stories from the other community members, it always feels good. And again, there is no limit. You can step up as much as you want. You can step up 1 hour a week, 1 hour a month, half hour a day. It is not about what you do. It is about how you do it. Make sure you have that heart to do that thing. I do little things. I'm not a very big, I don't have that much resources, that much time. I wish I have more time, more resources, more energy to do a lot more for the community. But I do this with the passion. I do this with passion. And when I say passion, I also volunteer for Red Cross. I used to volunteer once a month. I become their ambassador during the blood drives. I wanted to be their volunteer for the disasters. But since I am already working with a parallel group, which is Sikhs for Humanity, we also do mobilize, especially during those days. So I see some duplicacy of the interest there. I see that I can be a part of the Red Cross, and I can be more effective being part of the Sikhs for Humanity. So I decided, since it's a new organization, it needs more time, it needs more energy. So when there is a disaster, God forbid these things doesn't happen, but we are living in a real world. Things do happen.
Sure.
Okay, and somebody will always need help. And for the last year and two, it's not only the disasters. People are coming to you for help here and there. We have few cases where people lost their house. We have few cases, their family member went into the drugs, so they need some help. So those are very true stories from people. When people need, they do not know where to go. As long as in your town, if you put your face up and tell, you know what, I do this kind of help, I do this kind of seva. And I know, Harpreet ji, you've been doing this Sikh awareness for longest time in Modesto and Ceres area. And anybody who needs help in Modesto Ceres area can go to you guys for help. So all we need to do is step up and do a little bit of a time from your busy schedule, motivate your kids, motivate your family members, step up and do little things. And every little thing we do, it counts. And it will pay manifold. It's not only that you do this and you will get this, you will get manifold. Guruji will give you a lot more than what you do. And again, I'm very emotional at this time, Harpreet ji. You know, it is seva is
great service.
Seva is, there's no end to seva. There's no end to seva. All you need to do something.
Sure. And I think I like to mention, because one thing that minority communities sometimes, because people immigrate because of economic reasons. Obviously, if you see a better life, one is always economics and also the safety of your family. So you are not just here to make money. So get involved and be part of the community, help others. So that's, I think, another way to spread Sikh American awareness. Because I think if you are just sitting, and also I like to, because this year is an election year.
Yes.
And so it's really important to vote, because especially our community doesn't have a good track record of voting. So we have to, I think, make a good job on that side and register to vote. People have registered, but the voting percentage have been like 20% or so. That's not good, because now you're, I think, getting the option of getting a ballot in the mail, and what you can expect more than that. And now even you can vote on the election day. Even if you have not registered, you can put a provisional ballot, go to the polling place, register, put a provisional ballot. It would be counted at the end, obviously. So again, I'd like to thank you for your time and just providing those important details. And I think whoever like to get connected with Manteca, or with the local community, I think they should contact Parminder Sahi. You can contact me. I can connect you with him. So do you have any?
You brought up a very good point, Paji. You brought up a very a valid point. This democracy is not about everything goes right. The democracy is all about your numbers. Okay, you may not get the best thing in the world in a democracy, but whatever the majority wants, is chances are you will get it if you are proven that you have the majority for it. So for example, when I do my seva, I also go to the city hall when I have a concern. When there is a proposition coming, I look at that and I participate in those things. If there is a item coming in agenda which needs my input, or I can have, I wanted to have my say in there, I would like to go ahead and go to the city council and say that, hey, you know what, there is a proposition or there is a agenda item which has come. I express my views, either I'm for it or against it. So what we should do is we should step up and we should start speaking up.
Sure.
Your giving part is your seva part. At the same time, if you want a better future for your kids, you want to be heard, you wanted a fair share in this American democracy, you need to speak up. Don't feel shy. Go to the city hall. Even if you do not know the English, do not know you're not fluent in English, you will find somebody to translate for you. If you are in Manteca, you can call me. I will definitely help you with. I will go with you. Uncle ji, auntie ji, brother, sister, whoever wants to go there. Please make sure your voice is heard. And unless you say something, chances are we are not going to get it.
Sure.
So make this a habit and make sure you embed this thing in your kids. Whatever monkey see, monkey do. Our kids see that we are lacking in participating in our civic activities. So they are also, sometimes I feel that we need to encourage our kids by example. So we need to take with us to the civic responsibilities we do. Recently we planted 13 trees in East Union Cemetery in Manteca. So we had kids from Manteca, Tracy, Mountain House. Wherever we go, we try to take our kids with us so they can learn the seva part. And kids are helping big time to us in the civic elections. So I think we are doing whatever we know is the best, and we are open. If there is anything better than this we can do, please come and tell us. If there is anything you wanted to tell us that we can do more, or we can do this in our town, in our society as a Sikh, as an individual, your doors are open. Feel free to get hold of me on the social media, or you can call Harpreet Paji. He can give you my number. But make sure, step up, take some action. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
And thanks again for watching these videos. So I will bring a next new community member or an important topic to discuss about, because there is census going on. So we like to talk about that, how you can, because that's also one of the most important thing.
True.
You need to, I think, at least be counted to be heard. So so we will bring videos about that. And again, thanks for joining this page, channel, and just hang on there, and there is great information coming on. Thank you.
Can I add one thing, Harpreet
Yeah,
Paji?
sure.
A good friend of mine, Harpreet Singh, Dardi from Chardi Kala Time TV, we talked about Harpreet Ji, that he's doing this podcast kind of things. And I would like to encourage you to do this on a bigger platform. For that, Harpreet Ji told me that extend this invitation to you in front of the camera. I'm extending this invitation.
Thank you,
if you want to be one of the hosts for the Chardi Kala Time TV, and let's make it to the bigger audience.
Thank you, Bhai. Obviously means whichever thing I think we need to just spread the message and just bring, I think, and talk about the local issues. There are, I think, broader issues we have from our home country, but it's also important to talk about the local issues, especially about Central Valley. We can also talk about the national issues, but I think it's always good to talk about the local issues related to the community. And I think we are in a election year 2020. There are more important things going on. So I think in future we will talk about that. And again, thanks for watching these videos. Thank you.
Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.